What's going on, guys? So what I have in front of me here is my Rock River Arms AR15 lower. So you can see I have the buttstock on here. This is the buttstock that comes from Rock River Arms, and since I live in New York, this stock was actually pinned at the factory from them, so I can't adjust it, and I really didn't have an option as to how, they just pinned it in the full open position, which, after doing a lot of shooting, it's really uncomfortable for me. So what I've done is I bought a new Magpul CTR stock. I also have a new commercial buffer tube with 6 positions in it. And while I'm at it, I also have the Magpul ASAP sling attachment point. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is removing the old buttstock. We're going to pin the Magpul CTR. I'm going to show you how to pin that to make it New York State, or I think California also needs to do similar. So I'm going to show you how to pin the Magpul CTR stock, and also install the ASAP, and that's about it. Depending on what kind of AR you guys have, that capsule nut may be staked, in which case on the end plate here, you'll see it's kind of dimpled in and into the notch there. If yours is staked, you may need some extra muscle to get it off. I mean, that's really the only way to get it off, is to really muscle it. Rock River does not stake their capsule nuts. I know some guys complain about that, and they use red Loctite apparently, and it's on there pretty good. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to get that off without any special vise blocks, or without even using a vise. I know Brownell sells, like vise, the blocks that go in the magwell that you put in a vise, but they're like $40. Does it come in handy? Yeah. I really don't have the extra money to buy that, and I'm going to show you how to easily take that capsule nut off, because it can be a real pain. So the first thing you want to do is just remove the buffer assembly, and you're just going to press down that little tab in there. I'm sure most of you guys know how to do that, and just take out the buffer. Okay. And of course you're going to need a spanner wrench. This is the Tapco one. This one's actually pretty good. You see it has the three grabbing points there. That is ideal. I know some of them only have like 2. Especially if yours is staked, you're going to want to get one like this that has at least, it has the 3 on there. The other thing we're going to use in this is just a pipe. Any pipe should do the job. We're just going to use that as kind of a cheater bar. This does have a spot for a socket wrench there. You can put a socket wrench in there to get leverage. I prefer just to use the bar. And basically, you'll notice, I'm going to just move the tripod here. You'll notice that I have this laying on a carpeted floor. That's preferably where you want to do this. You want to lay it on a carpeted floor. If you don't have carpet in your house, you could probably do this outside in the grass. I just would not do this on wood floors. You'll probably damage the wood, or concrete, because you're probably going to end up marring your lower receiver. So we're on the carpeted floor here, and it's really simple. I mean, basically all you're going to do is just put your knee on top of both sides of the lower and just hold it down with your knees, and insert the spanner wrench. Actually, I'm going to zoom this out a little bit. So I'm just holding down the receiver with my knees. I have the spanner wrench and the notches. I'm just going to use my hand to kind of put some pressure on it so it stays in there. And I'm just going to turn the wrench and there it goes. Castle nut's free. Okay, so now that we got that loose, I'm not gonna loose it up all the way right now. There's two things you have to be careful of here. The first thing is you're gonna unscrew the castle nut here, and then what there is underneath here, underneath the end plate, there's a spring on this side, and you just want to be careful of that. It shouldn't really go flying out, but it's just something to keep in mind, and know that it's there. So all I'm going to do is just slide the end plate back, and you can see it right there. Remove the buffer tube. So I'm just going to rotate a little bit the buffer tube, and there's that spring. So you don't want to lose that. Let's see, there's the spring. Okay. Now don't unscrew the buffer tube anymore, because there's one more thing you got to be careful of here. The other thing you'll notice is inside here there's the pin that holds the buffer spring and the buffer. What you want to do is you want to hold that pin down. It's under spring pressure, and that will, if you're not holding this and you unscrew this buffer tube, that will go flying out. So you want to just hold that down while you unscrew the buffer tube, and then just release it. It'll come out. There it is with the spring. Don't want to lose that, of course. Put that aside, and then just unscrew all the way out, and there you have that. Alright guys, so I got my new commercial buffer tube here. So you can see it's got 6 positions on it. I have the Magpul CTR stock. So I'm just going to slide that on. Now we're going to do the pinning. So I just slide it on, and the way to get this on is, you see you have the pin right here above this is the friction lock. Try to get a better view. So this is the friction lock here, and you have a pin. It's also the same on the other side. Once you slide this on, you're going to notice it won't go all the way on. You want to just pull down on the pin. I like to do it from both sides. It gives you a little bit more room. So you just want to pull down all the way on this pin, and then the stock will slide on. Okay, so I have the stock on the buffer tube now. Now I've determined that I want to pin this all the way closed. I didn't do that on the rifle because that would be illegal here in New York. But I just magically guessed, and my magical guesses lead me to think that I am most comfortable with it all the way closed. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to the next step, and that is pinning the stock. What we're going to use is, I have some 1/8 inch roll pins, okay, and an 1/8 inch drill bit. I don't know if you can see that. And we're going to be drilling. I'm going to just show you guys this. So you can see we have a flat spot on the bottom. So basically, we're going to be drilling through the side somewhere and pinning through that flat bottom part. Okay, so I've determined that I'm going to be drilling right in front of the lever here, right on top of the friction lock mechanism. Going to go as far up as possible, so I really grab that tube. So it's going to be right about there. Now we're going to drill through the polymer part of the stock into the buffer tube. we don't want to go all the way through the buffer tube. So I've gone down about halfway through. That should be good enough. And if I close the stock, should be able to see the hole there. Okay guys, so I use my Dremel and I just basically cut in about half the roll pin. Okay, so I have everything lined up. Got my 1/8 inch roll pin that I've cut down. And I'm going to use an 1/8 inch brass punch. So I'm just going to get the roll pin in the hole there. And I'm going to use my 1/8 inch punch and a mallet. I'm just going to drive that in. Alright guys, so I got the pin in, as you can see. A little tough. It was tough trying to get the exact depth for the pin size because I had to cut it. So the pin was a little bit bigger than the hole, probably about a 32nd of an inch. So what I did was I just drove out the pin here. I removed the friction lock and I just grinded it down a little bit with the Dremel. So I have my lower receiver. I already have my spring in and the detent. So what we're going to do is first we're going to put the castle nut on here, back it all the way out. Okay. We got the Magpul ASAP. I'm going to put that on. And we're just going to screw that onto the receiver. Just a little bit. And just put that ASAP on, making sure the spring is pushed in by the ASAP. Okay. Alright, we're going to get our tab in here with the spring for the buffer. Press that down while screwing it in until it catches. Alright guys, so I'm all set. I got the stock put on, it's pinned. One thing I realized I did miss out on showing you guys is on this Magpul, on the ASAP attachment point, there is a very tiny, it's like a little locking key, they call it, that gets slid in there. Totally forgot to get that on camera. It's just a tiny little square piece. There's two different sizes depending on which size buffer tube you have, and it just kind of slides in the little slot underneath the castle nut there. You just stick it in with a pair of needle nose pliers. I apologize, I really didn't get to show you guys that, but it is on. Try to zoom in a little bit here. As you can see, you can just barely make out that pin there. Is it a little bit noticeable? Yeah, but that's alright. I did this mostly for the comfort. Like I said earlier, the stock that Rock River provided me was just, I could not comfortably shoot it, so much happier with the shorter stock. As always, thanks for watching. There's going to be plenty more videos to come, and as always, stay safe, guys. Thanks.